your performance reviews. Now let's be honest, right? How many of you guys have always agreed with your performance review feedback? How many have disagreed? Let's put our hands up, right? Probably, I think it's more than those have put their hands up. At least for me, I can tell you, certain times I would get pegged as, oh, I'm not a consistent one for me was like not that technical. I was like, how could that possibly be? I started as a software engineer, right? So there's some things where you'll get weird performance review feedback. So I think that then you need to apply your own brain on top of this, right? What is your true ratings? And you should try to give yourself ratings across the core PM skills. So personally, the framework I used was Ravi Mehta's. I don't know if you guys have seen those spider chart diagrams that he creates. So using those spider chart diagrams, and the key is your average rating for yourself should not be higher than like a 7 out of 10. So you need to be a hard grader on yourself across your skills and identify those skills that you're weakest at. Find your tech lead, your most senior tech lead who you've worked with on your last feature. Sit him down and say, hey, who's the best PM you ever worked with on technical skill? How did they approach this? Now, how did I approach this? What were the differences? See how I didn't ask what feedback do you have to me about being technical? Because you know what? People, we want to be nice, especially if they have to work with you.
I think I've also have the same point. So this is what I call as continuous and conscious learning. But we have been at companies where we have seen that your performance review happens later, but the decision has already been taken. So that is happening in this particular market. First is, there are so many great products around us, okay? And there are people who have created these products. That is how I entered product management. So what I did when my first startup got shut down, so I was looking for my next role. I was an engineer, so I have been coding since I was in 7th or 8th class. So I know that I have to do engineering. But then someone told me that because you have been an entrepreneur, maybe product is a better choice. But I was not sure. So I read that book, Cracking the PM Interview. I messaged about 15 people on LinkedIn. It was, I think, 2017-18. So I just sent them that, boss, I want some opinion from you and I'm looking to pursue a career over here. And you are already a product manager at a good company. Some were from Google, someone from different kind of startups as well. And they got on a call with me for maybe half an hour and they were able to tell me that, boss, this is what you can do. And if I were to do it today, I'll send the same message, but maybe I'll add one more line that if there is, let's say, anything that I can go ahead and pay you for your, let's say, hourly fees or something, then I'll be willing to pay for it. Okay. And most of the time, what I have seen is that people have also messaged me, nobody takes money. They might take one or two may take, but most of the people don't do this. So this is what you need to discuss.
That's great. But like, I think just doing that, right? I think it's super underrated. At least like where I am in Durham, North Carolina, I have a 100% response rate. Or for my podcast ads, if I want to get an advertiser, I have a 100% response rate. So aspire to get there is like, how do I craft these messages to people that they're going to respond to them? I reached out to Ankit, he replied, right? So it's like, how are you going to figure out what value are you going to offer?
My question to you, Akash, and also to you, Ankit, is that as we grow ranks in our career, we tend to get less hands-on with what a PM does. So eventually, maybe a PM, as he grows to an SPM, PPM, group product manager, AD, VP, etc., you grow less and less hands-on with what you used to do years back. Maybe it can be writing a PRD, or working with the tech team, or working directly with the users and their feedback. How does one ensure that he or she never loses touch with the very basic and core skills of being a product manager?
Yeah, so I think that as you progress there's probably like 2 or 3 things I personally did. So one is never stop talking to customers, right? We can't lose that connection with our customers, with our users. Who are our 3 biggest leads for enterprise deals right now? Turned out it was like Nike, Procter & Gamble, and one Azure team within Microsoft. So those were the people I went and go and talk to, right? Because they're giving me really good ideas about what are the gaps in our product. I think choosing your own objectives and then talking to customers and users, number 1 technique. Number 2 technique, don't allow this idea that you need to empower your teams or your PMs need to be able to do whatever they want. As a product leader, you should assume that every feature shipped with your teams under you has your stamp of approval. And so what I like to do is think about what are the 2 or 3 biggest features in this quarter. I want to actually be involved in the product work. I want that product designer and tech lead and PM to work with me. And I want to put my stamp on that feature. So that PRD, before you share it with the Eng team, you send it to me. Make sure that I see it. And I want to be involved not just in that one product review, but I want to have multiple product reviews. I want to have a product review when you've done problem exploration, when you've done solution exploration, before you've done prototype testing, and I want to do a product review after the results.